Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Peter. If you are familiar with some of my previous content, you'll know that I've been shooting the FX Impact M3 for quite a while now. So when I recently purchased the 600mm FX Panthera, you can imagine that the questions started pouring in. Which one is the better gun, or which one should I buy? So those are the questions that I'll try to answer in this video today. Before you go and buy yourself a new gun, you should be asking yourself what you'll be using it for. Is it for hunting? Is it for PRS? Is it for plinking in the backyard? Or is it for bench rest? Because I consider myself a bench rest shooter, I decided to have this approach to the comparison between the two guns. I'll compare them in 4 different areas: accuracy, handling, accessories and tuning. And I'll compare the two guns with the accessories that I have installed on each gun. So today's video is going to be a comparison between the 700mm FX Impact M3 and the 600mm FX Panthera. Let's talk about accuracy. I have been testing a lot of different slugs in both guns, and the one that has been performing the best is the 16 grain slug from SAN. So let's start out with the Panthera. Here is a 5-shot group that I shot while filming an upcoming video on 100 meters. Even though it was a bit off target, it was a pretty good group, so yeah, let's check it out. That was more than a respectable group. It is a 2 centimeter group at 100 meters or 109 yards. That was a very decent result with the Panthera, a 2 centimeter group at 100 meters. If you want to see the rest of the video, you'll have to stay put for another 2 weeks. But let's move on to the Impact and see how it performs at 100 meters. There's a little wind right now. That is a very solid group. let's go and measure it up when I'm tuning like this. But anyway, here I am at the target, and you can see my hand here, so that yeah, you have no doubts. But anyway, this is the group. Let me just film it here. Yeah, and I'm trying to measure it up here with one hand, and it is a, let's see, that's a 1.4 centimeter group at 100. I think that's very respectable. So that was one of my better groups, I admit that. And if you want to see the whole video, you can see it right here, or you can go back to my channel and check it out. These two groups that I shot might not be directly comparable, because the one that I shot with the Impact was shot in the summer, and the one that I shot with the Panthera was shot in the winter. But I believe that shooting the Panthera more and in warm weather, I could easily get a group that matched the one that I shot with the Impact. Now let's talk about handling. From an ergonomic point of view, they both do extremely well. The key elements to having a stable gun when shooting bench is to have a good bipod, a bag rider, and a good sandbag. And with this setup, you can have a very stable gun. The Panthera comes with the adjustable cheek riser and adjustable buttstock, which is very nice. I am using the adjustable cheek riser, but not the adjustable buttstock. The M3 comes without an adjustable cheek riser, but it is available if you want it. I haven't installed it on mine because I haven't found it to be necessary, but for you it might be a different story. Both of my guns are spec'd for bench, but when they come as standard, they are very different guns. The M3, being a bullpup and thereby being a shorter gun, is perfect for hunting, and it's not as heavy as mine with the dual bottle adapter and all the other accessories that I've attached. The Panthera comes without this front bottle, which gives it a lower profile and a perfect center of gravity, making it perfect for PRS. But looking at the barrel now with the moderator attached, you can see that it might not be that perfect for hunting. Now let's talk about accessories, and we'll start out with the M3. There are so many accessories available for the Impact, so I can't possibly go through them all, but I will go through the ones that I have installed on this gun. I have installed a 700mm barrel with a heavy liner in it. I have also installed the barrel tensioner system. Down here you see the Saber Tactical Arca Swiss rail, and this is a good idea in particular if you're shooting bench, because you can have the bipod mounted way out in front and thereby have a better stability. Here you can see the dual bottle adapter. I have this on because I like to have more air, a higher shot count, and a heavier gun, which is good for bench. Down here you find the trigger. It's not like really an available accessory because it's one that I have designed myself, and with a little help from my good friend Stefan and his 3D printer, it's now here on the gun. Back here you find the single loader. It's a good idea if you don't like magazines like me. And here you see the grip. It's an ergo grip. It has a bit more volume to it, so it fits my hands perfectly. Here you find the bag rider, and with the right sandbag you can set it up to be extremely stable. Here on the side you find the angled gauge mount. As a standard, the reg gauge is placed underneath the rear block, but for a person like me who likes to have an eye on the reg gauge while shooting, this angled gauge mount is a very good idea. You can see that I have a digital gauge. It's a Segment Gen 2, and I absolutely love it because it's digital, it's accurate, it's fast reading, and I think it looks kind of cool. The last thing I want to mention is the hammer weight. You can check it out in this video. I changed it from a standard 6 gram to a 7.5 gram, but watch the video for all the details. Now let's take a look at the Panthera. It's not been out for as long as the Impact, so there are not that many accessories available, but let's take a look at the ones that I have installed on this gun. Down here you find the drop-down bottle adapter from Saber Tactical. It's a good idea if you want the higher shot count and a heavier gun for bench. Back here you find the back rider, which is essential if you want a stable gun for bench rest. This is also from Saber Tactical. Down here you find the grip from Eagle Vision. It's aluminium and it has threaded holes for a thumb rest. It's not out yet, but if you're interested you can follow their webpage and be one of the first to order it. The gun comes with a vertical grip as standard, but because my hands doesn't really like this vertical grip, I decided to reach out to Eagle Vision and they sent me this. Here on the side you find the angled gauge mount. It has both the reg gauge and the gauge for the fill pressure. As you can see, I have changed the reg gauge for the segment Gen 2, and once again I did this to have an accurate and fast reading and because I think it looks extremely cool. There are a few more things available for the gun. You can change this rail, you can add weights that you can attach to these M-lock slots, and you can add barrel weights if you want to. You can also change the hammer weight, but for a 177 I don't really think that's necessary. But the big thing about the Panthera, or the King or the Dynamic, is that they have this dynamic block, and this is the center of these three guns. So if you buy different barrel lengths, or you buy the stock from the King, or you remove this and add the bottle right here, you can have both the King, the Panthera and the Dynamic in one gun. So yeah, basically you can be shooting the 500mm King in the morning, and 2 hours later you can be shooting this Panthera with a 700mm barrel, and that's like a big plus in my book. Okay, the last area that I want to touch is tuning, and let's start out with the M3. If you're new to PCP, the M3 can be a bit of a challenge, I admit that, but if you find someone that you trust and that you can relate to, just stick to those. Don't get too many informations from too many people, because it will just end up confusing you. So what I would recommend, if you trust me of course, is to watch this video. It is more of a standard way of tuning the gun. Follow this and you'll be in very good hands. And this other video is a different tuning video with some of the elements from the first video, but it's a video where you control the velocity of the gun by using the front valve entirely. So it's not like a complete jungle. It's something that everybody can learn if you just take your time. So now let's talk about the Panthera. It's a bit more simple to tune because it doesn't have the front valve, but the best results that I've had with the gun is by using a low regulator. So this means that if I have my regulator on a specific setting, I'll test and see what the maximum velocity, and that is found by turning up the hammer until it levels out. That's where you have your maximum velocity, and from there I turn it down maybe 10 feet per second, and in that setting it usually shoots very, very well. So I can't say that the Panthera is difficult to tune, so that's a big plus for the Panthera on this area. There are two things I want to address regarding the tuning of these guns. The first thing is about the Panthera. It has been accused of having an inconsistent regulator, but luckily this can be solved rather easily. If you take the regulator apart, lube it up and polish the springs, most of your problems will be gone. So it will fill the plenum faster and it will reduce the spread by quite a lot. The other thing that I want to address is that the first shots with both guns can be slow and low, meaning that it has a very slow velocity at the first shot and thereby sending the slug quite low. But the way to fix this, at least on the impact, is by watching this video. I'm showing you this once again. This is a video where I use the front valve to adjust the velocity. This will solve the problems completely for the impact. And for the Panthera, I'm not saying that I'm the expert on the Panthera yet, but what has solved the problems by getting rid of slow and low in the first shots for me has been to use a lower regulator setting. But using different ammo, I've seen the problems come and go, and I haven't just figured that out yet. So let's sum it up. These guns have a lot in common because they're both modular build, and this makes them extremely versatile. You can change the liners, barrel lengths, calibers, and you can add bottles. And if you look at companies like Saber Tactical, Crawford & Lipped, Air Marksman and FX themselves, you can make a gun that matches your needs completely. And the winner is, I bet you already made up your mind, but here's my answer. The truth is that these guns are made for different purposes. The M3 is made for hunting and bench, and the Panthera is made for PRS and perhaps also for bench. The gun that I have been shooting the most lately is definitely the Panthera, but does that make it my first choice? To answer that question, I just want to tell you a little story. In order to tell a good story, you need the right surroundings, so that's why I placed myself here on my couch with a good book and my pipe. Here in Scandinavia we have several national dishes, and one of them being meatballs. In Denmark they are called frikadeller, and in Sweden they are called köttbullar. The thing about these meatballs is that they can be made in many different ways, but the way that your mom makes them will always be perfect. So you can go to your neighbor's place and have some excellent meatballs there, and you can go to Sweden and have their meatballs as well. But when you get back to your mom's place, having her meatballs, they will always be the benchmark. That gives you a very special feeling inside, and that particular feeling is the one that I get after having shot the Panthera for a while and returning to the Impact. So that's why my preferred choice between the two rifles is the Impact. So with that said, take care and shoot safe.